Hello, you guys, and welcome back to more Let's Play Corpse Factory. A little bit. Turn it down a little bit now. Last time we played the prologue where we found out that, there is an app that allows you to take revenge on somebody, but it seems to have backfired on our then protagonist. So we're gonna go ahead and play, starting from chapter 1. I've always liked the shape of my eye. Okay, so I kind of missed it a little bit right when the video ended, but basically I think it just said chapter 1 something something, and then it started with this girl. So here we are. You didn't miss anything, I promise. I can be critical about other parts of my body, but I'll never complain about my eyes. With or without makeup, I think they look great. Mother used to tell me I inherited her eyes, and my big sister inherited Father's eyes. To be honest, I don't see any of Father's features, myself or my sister, but I do agree my eyes are the exact replica of Mother's. Mother doesn't see too well anymore, and that might be something I have to also worry about in the future. But for now, my eyes are perfect, and I couldn't be happier with them. I wear eyeshadow and eyeliner to bring out my best features. Some people tell me I use too much makeup, and that I tend to overdo it and make myself look intimidating. That's the best kind of makeup. Well, I don't really care. I mostly like the way I look, and honestly, how many people can claim the same? That's true. That's very true. A lot of people think that there's a misconception out there that people think that when you wear makeup, you're insecure about yourself, but I've actually found that there's quite a lot of women out there that like to wear makeup. I mean, there probably are some that are a little bit insecure, but I've actually found that there are plenty of women out there that like makeup because they just like it, you know? They love themselves, and I think that's good. Love yourself. Today's morning ritual is the same as any other workday. I'm a slave to the wage, and I'm not proud of it. Aren't we all? Call me a corporate sellout, but I can survive. I can't survive without money. My alarm goes off at 6 a.m., shower is running by 6:05, and I'm dry and dressed by 6:15. I skip breakfast because I'm watching my figure, and I spend until 6:30 a.m. working on my makeup. Okay. As somebody who struggled with an eating disorder, don't skip breakfast unless you're legitimately not hungry. That's not gonna help you watch your figure. Don't do that. It's not very unhealthy, and also sometimes that can lead to overeating later on in the day. But what do I know? I'm out of my cramped shoebox apartment by 6:45 a.m. Sometimes I catch my neighbor returning home from his overnight shift, and if so, I exchange a simple pleasantries with him and continue on my way. I'd rather do third shift than first shift. I would much rather. You could not catch me waking up at 6 a.m., but I will stay up until 6 a.m. Today there is no sign of my neighbor, so I don't slow down as I descend the stairs and exit the building. Hitting the convenience store for a can of coffee saps another few minutes of time each day. I prefer sweet milk coffees, but every now and then I'm in the mood for a rich black coffee. Why don't you just make coffee at home? Like, you could totally just like start the coffee machine while you're in the shower. That's what I do. You just start your coffee machine, let it run, and then if you have a to-go cup, you can just pour it in your to-go cup and you're ready to go. Whatever. Regardless, I never start the day without it. Doodah. I don't always need energy boost, but it helps my stomach from growling. I'm sure it does, honey. Sure it does, because you're hungry. It's a milk coffee kind of day, so I pay for my favorite brand and get out of the store in no time. The canned coffee drives into my handbag as I continue on my way. By the way, I'm not judging her, and I'm not judging anybody that does this. I'm kind of talking to myself here, when I'm like, I'm sure you are, honey. So please don't take it that way. I'm not trying to be mean. The train station is always busy in the morning, and it's a usual struggle to navigate my way to the correct platform in time for 7:12 a.m. train. Today is no different. However, I always make it in time because my routine has been perfected over the last few months. I boarded the train for Shinjuku. Shinjuku, yeah. A cursory glance reveals there are no empty seats, so I push through the throng of bodies and stand against the carriage wall. Is it a skill issue, or do I not see anybody? Am I the only one not seeing it, anybody on the train? Whenever there are seats available, I like to sit and read, but it's much more common to have to stand and stare at my phone screen almost like everyone else. When I do read, I read the classics. Stoker, Lovecraft, Poe. Horror. Western horror at that is my favorite genre. And she's my goth girlfriend now. And of course, faithful translations into Japanese are as good as it gets. My English isn't nearly strong enough to read these novels in their own original language. And if I'm stuck staring at my phone screen, I like to stalk people online. Acquaintances or a few friends I have lead to such boring lives. They post about the most mundane topics, all day, every day, acting like they'll shrivel up and die unless they get the attention they seek. Okay, so we're a hipster. I find their dull, tedious lives simply fascinating. Wow, okay, who am I? Who do I think I am? Oh, I'm better than you because I read Lovecraft. I read Poe. Thump, thump, the heart beats under the floorboards. Therefore, you are a peasant. From behind the safety of the glass veil, I can fulfill my voyeuristic fetishes and consume as much pointless information as I desire. That was a really unnecessarily attractive sentence for no reason at all. Knowing every mundane tidbit of people's daily lives turns me on. Oh, okay. Okay, we're doing that. This morning is the same as any other. I stared down the phone held in my frail hand. My fingers move on their own accord, scrolling and tapping against the backlit display, pausing, pondering, pouncing on any post or picture that my pupils haven't yet consumed. Standing in the train carriage, packed to the gills with people, I can't help but feel my face getting flushed and my steamy breath escaping my... You are actually getting turned on? This is actually turning you on? Oh, no judgment. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I did just post after post, photo after photo, memorizing the comings and goings of every single person on my Noise activity feed. Oh, there goes Noise again. So, Noise was that app that we saw in the last episode that our protagonist at the time was using to spy on her coworker. I catch my breathing getting heavier, and my gasps becoming short and sharp. Ray went into the dentist yesterday for a root canal. Mizuno shared some photos from her intentional vacation. Or international, sorry. Kawahara objects to owning pets and thinks all animals should be free. My cheeks glow crimson, my chest beginning rising and falling quickly. Does this need to be on YouTube? Do I have to put this on my other website? I clutch the collar of my shirt, knuckles whitening, knees shaking. Not the screepy skeleton knees. A few people in the carriage start to move away from me, but I barely notice them. Yeah, you're a pervert. What are you doing? Why are you doing this in public? Do this at home. My fingers keep scrolling and I hit the jackpot. A new post from a coworker at my office. Tomoe Watanabe. She's a gal girl. Gyaru? Oh my god, I love Gyaru. The type with a heavy fake tan, bleached blonde hair, and a questionable clothes. That's the one. That's the one, baby. That's the one. We're gonna be friends. I hate her, but I love her posts. Why do you hate her? This morning's update reads... Tomomo! 53 minutes ago. What the fuck is exciting about that, bro? Oh, just found this Corpse Girl website. It wasn't finished. I thought that was the post. Tomomo. Such a fake bull. Ha ha ha. Waiting to meet a bitch to try it on. Okay, wait. I can see why you don't like her now. She's one of those Gyaru. She's not a cute, nice one. She's just kind of a mean one. A mean girl, if you will. Tomoe just discovered Corpse Girl's Corpse Girl's website. Huh? Sorry. I was trying to fix my mic. I feel a slight squeal trying to escape my throat as my legs tighten and buckle beneath me. Ma'am, this is a Wendy. What are you doing? Can't take the excitement anymore, and I have to force my phone from my hands and bury it at the bottom of my handbag. Deep breaths, Noriko. Deep breaths. I need to calm down and control myself. Composure is key. I close my eyes and let a cool breath of air whistle through my slightly parted lips. Feeling a bit calmer, I no longer am ready to explode. I analyze the information I just read. I'm sorry, I need a minute. That was a lot. Okay. I think I'm fine. Tomoe wants to try out Corpse Girl's website. That's good. Very, very good. Rumor has it that you can visit the website and request the death of somebody you already know. How and if the victim dies isn't known to the public. Because of that, some people are pretty quick to dismiss the site as a hoax. However, the most interesting part of it isn't how the victim dies, but rather what happens to the victim before they die. Supposedly, the victim will receive a photo of their own corpse. How this photo exists before the victim's life is snuffed out isn't publicly known, but the thought of this phenomenon occurring is utterly intriguing. Nevertheless, the site has been gaining popularity lately, at least to a certain corners of the internet. Message boards like Noise Channel and other similar sites have picked up on the rumors and like to exaggerate the website's authenticity. The fact that someone like Tomoe, a rather dense, dim-witted individual, has discovered the website means that there's actually more well-known than I previously thought. It means that people are actually talking about it outside the internet. Chances are good that Tomoe will want to try and request the death of someone in the office. A coworker. Me, perhaps. She hates my guts as much as I hate hers. Finally, something exciting is going to happen in our dull workplace.
The next station is Shinjuku. The doors on the right side will open. Please change here for the Chuo line, the Shonan Shinjuku line, the Saikyo line.
So, am I an adrenaline junkie? As the automated announcement reads through a list of connecting train lines, I get ready to disembark. The train pulls to a stop, and I contort my body around the other passengers in an attempt to exit the train. Ugh, I couldn't do it. I'd have panic attacks every day. Finally, free of the tangled mass of flesh, I hasten my pace and navigate through the labyrinth station. I take the exit closest to my office and settle to a slower walk. I'm on time, and I never desire to reach the office any earlier than needed. It doesn't take long for the looming office towers to enter my field of vision. 32 stories of office spaces all cramped into one sleek, slim tower. The name, Temujin is stamped across the structure in a gigantic block letters. If you're looking for this building in Shinjuku, you can't possibly miss it. Temujin carries a title of Japan's third biggest banking corporation. It's a gigantic company with other branches in Kyoto, Osaka, Sapporo, Fukuoka, and a dozen smaller cities that I don't even remember. I've worked here for close to 3 months now. Not a long time in the grand scheme of things. That said, I'm only a temp, and all I do is data entry. I work on the 14th floor along with about other 60 junior employees, including the Gyaru, Tomoe Watanabe. I don't speak to many of my coworkers. That's the way I like it. Actually, same. I am such an antisocial introvert when it comes to like real life. On the internet, I'm okay. I'm a little bit more I speak more on the internet, but online, I mean, in the real life. See, I don't even think. See, I'm just online all the time. I'm chronically online, if you will. Whatever. When I reach the building, I enter the giant double sliding doors and find myself in a familiar lobby. Comfortable couches line the walls circling the reception desk. You know what? Shut up. I can read. 4 large elevators are tucked away in the nook behind the reception desk. It's already busy this morning, though to be fair, this place is packed all of the time. I avoid the crowds of sharply dressed business people, feeling a little out of place in my semi-formal shirt and skirt. Why? I say, as I also feel out of place often. Ducking into a newly opened elevator, I tap my employee ID card to the backlit panel and press the button for my floor. The doors close and the elevator begins to smooth ascent. I can read, shut up. I'm surprised to find that I'm the only one traveling up. I reach the floor and listen to the soothing chime as the doors open, revealing the open layout office before me. Well, at least there's no cubicles. I don't know, the cubicles make it feel dystopian. I hated the cubicles. I hated it. The static drone of workplace noise fills my ears. Conversation, ringing phones, fingers tapping against keyboards, photocopiers, even the steady, low hum of the air conditioner contributes to the overall din? I make my way to my desk, stationed in the middle of the floor and surrounded by a dozen other identical desks. As I walk, somebody taps me on the shoulder gently.
Good morning, Kurosawa.
Hello, Shinya Fujikawa, my senior. He's really only a couple months older than me. He's worked here for a whole year after taking an internship straight out of senior high school. He's not an intern anymore, though I'm not quite sure of his job title.
Morning, Fujikawa.
Oh, I'm sexy.
How was your commute this morning?
Normal. I almost came on the train.
Fine, same as usual.
That's good to hear. Did you read any of your novels?
You mean my porn? He's referring to the horror books I like to read. I can tell from his tone that he doesn't exactly approve of the subject matter. Then why are you asking? Don't ask if you don't care. I've known Shinya since junior high. We go way back, but I really wouldn't exactly call us friends. However, he's one that landed me this job, even though it's just a temporary contract. I've always had the feeling that he's a bit sweet on me. I could be way off the mark, though.
Well, I couldn't get a seat on the train today. Too hard to read while standing.
Ah, that's a shame. You, still haven't accepted my, friend request, did you know?
What? I have to fight the urge to roll my eyes. He's a nice guy, but we were connected on Noise once before and I had to delete him. He's super obsessed with his father's detective work, and all he ever posts about is his assumptions and theories on petty crime cases. Normally I'd find anyone on my friends list fascinating, but here's the thing. Shinya never posts about his personal life. All he writes are long-winded rants on boring cases. It's far beyond the amount of dullness that I can even stand. I fish my phone out of my handbag and pretend that I'm looking at Noise.
Oh, how about that? Looks like I don't have any incoming friend requests.
I quickly dip my phone back into my bag.
How peculiar. Well, I'll try and nudge you again later.
That's mean. Don't be mean to him.
Sure, no problem.
Well, anyway, I better get to it. Work hard today, okay?
Poor guy, man.
You got it.
Shinya offers a formal bow and goes on his way. Before I can take a step forward to my desk, a mocking voice whispers in my ear. Uh-oh, is it the Gyaru?
Ugh. How long are you gonna lead on sweet little Shinya?
Hot. I'm down. She's a mean girl. She's fine. You can sit dab on me. I'm so sorry. I have to control myself. Breathe. I shiver and find Tomoe Watanabe lurking right behind me, buzzing around my neck like an irritating mosquito.
That poor boy really has the hots for you. When are you gonna tell him you're a cold-hearted psycho?
Why are you talking like that? Why are you talking like that? Why are we talking like that?
Listen, I'm not leading him on, and I'm no psycho.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Huh. Sounds like something a real psycho type would say, don't you reckon?
No comment. Of course, this is none other than the Gyaru Tomoe, the very same brain-dead moron who posted this morning about wanting to try Corpse Girl's website. She's the kind of person that likes to stir up trouble and instigate conflict. She's had her vacant eyes on me since the day I first stepped foot into the office. She loves to torment me any chance that she gets. Maybe I rubbed her the wrong way somehow, though I'm not sure what I ever did to her. Let me tell you a little thing, I forgot your name, about women. Sometimes, some very specific type of woman that has a very specific type of issue will target people that they are jealous of. And this happens in males' cases too, sometimes. But I'm sure she doesn't like your attitude, is what I'm saying. And even if you're not trying to have an attitude, girls are like pack animals. They like to like, they don't like that you are possibly a bitch. I don't know. That's what I've noticed from my personal experience. Like, I'm not a mean, but I'm definitely socially anxious and I don't like to talk to people. So I got bullied really hardcore at my last job by a bunch of females because they thought that I was a bitch. That's, in their words, that's what they said. That I was a bitch. Just because I didn't talk to them. It was crazy. Even though she's a data entry temp like me, she's worked here a little longer than I have. Unfortunately, that means I have to defer to her as my superior in this professional environment. She knows as much and likes to take advantage of the facts that she's often... I'm sorry. She knows as much and likes to take advantage of the fact as often as possible.
It's funny, you know. You don't look like the type of skank to lead on a goody-goody like Shinya.
Holy shit, girl.
I told you, I'm not leading him on.
Well, if you're not interested, maybe I'll take him out this weekend and tongue him at the cinema.
Go ahead, tongue him all the day. Tongue him all the day. Tongue him.
Gross. Do what you want, but I doubt he's into someone with your, looks.
I think she looks fine.
Oh yeah? What would you know? You think he likes your flat chest, little Miss Gothic Lolita?
I don't think you have exactly the biggest chest either, Tomoe, so like maybe we shouldn't talk shit. But yeah, maybe he is into goth girls. Yeah? I know I should shrug off comments as such, and normally I would. But backing down from Tomoe isn't something I can do easily.
I'll give you a tip. Guys like Shinya are smart. Clever. If you want to impress him, don't let him know your head is as full of air as your inflatable breasts.
Oh? A flash of crimson lights up Tomoe's face as she looks ready to lash out at me. A group of coworkers, juniors like us, look over in concern. Tomoe takes a step back from me, but not before signaling a rude gesture with her fingers. Why she flipped me off?
We ain't done here, Noriko. Watch your back.
Okay.
I'm trembling.
You probably should be. She gonna put your name on that website. Tomoe walks away as I breathe a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for having to deal with her, I wouldn't dread coming to work every day. Anyway, I wonder when she was planning to test out Corpse Girl's website. Will she try it on me since we just fought? I'm not really sure if I should be excited or scared. Either way, it will definitely be fun to find out what happens if she does try the website. Finally, I reach my desk and take a note out of the time. I was supposed to start working 5 minutes ago, so I quickly log into my computer and check today's task list. It's all standard stuff today. I need to transfer a few table numbers from a spreadsheet into our company's online database. When I'm done, I have to run it by a few people and then commit the changes to the server. The work is dull and repetitive, but my salary isn't bad. On the plus side, I get to wear headphones and listen to music while I work. That's the best one. I will do literally anything. If I can listen to music or listen to a podcast or something, like I work so well when I have something playing. That was something that when I worked at the factory that I am not going to name, we were not allowed to have our phones. We were not allowed to listen to music, or anything of that matter. So I was going mentally insane. Like, I am not scared of hard work. It was physically hard labor, and I'm not scared to do that. But man, oh man, my mental took a huge nosedive because I just can't sit in a silent. Well, it wasn't silent. It was really loud because of the machines, but nobody's really talking because we're all tired and exhausted. It's just like there's no music, there's no TV. You're in this dark, dimly lit room with no windows because there were no windows in the factory, and it was god awful. So I'll do this repetitive, dull work if I can have like music or something. I dip into my handbag and retrieve my headphones, my phone, and a can of milk coffee, a handful of breath mints, and I lay them all out on my desk neatly. I slip my headphones on, plug them into my phone, and a bit play on my work. Loud symphonic metal lovingly thrashes my ears as I crack open a can of coffee and take a long sip.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay. Let's. I return home to my quiet, cramped apartment after work. The place is eerily silent, a stark contrast to the bustling office where I spend my days. Throwing my handbag onto the tiny coffee table, I pick up my laptop and sit on the couch. I lie back and get comfortable, letting my laptop rest on my stomach as it boots up. The welcome screen loads up, so I click a couple of times, open my web browser, and then head to the very specific website saved in my favorites. Corpse Girl's website. A cute, dancing zombie girl is animated on the top of the page, a peculiarly irregularity that always makes me giggle. I notice that the page view counter at the bottom of the site is nearly the same as it was yesterday. There have maybe been 4 or 5 new visitors. I heave a sigh. Maybe the website isn't quite that well known after all. That begs the question, how did Tomoe discover it? Well, never mind that. My eyes scan the website's content. Request a death. Big, bold letters headline the site. The intention couldn't be clearer. Further information to the site is sparse. Brief instructions tell the user to fill a victim's phone number and upload a photo. Aside from that, there's not much else to mention. It doesn't even ask for a name. After scanning the site, I move my mouse to the browser's address bar and click. I type a / after the website's address and then add the word admin. Uh-oh. I hit enter key. A login page presents itself, with an empty username and password field waiting to be filled in. My fingertips tap dance around the keyboard, and within moments I'm presented with a brand new page. A blinking slab of text greets me. A new request. A crooked smile cracks my stony expression. Finally! Somebody has requested a death. Somebody has asked me, Corpse Girl, to kill a victim. Wait, I'm Corpse Girl? This is where things get exciting. I giggle and feel my cheeks flush red. This is the first request I've had for about a week. I've been logging in every evening, fingers crossed that somebody has elected a new victim for me. Today, my wish has come true. I can't help but feel emotional at a time like this. Wait, but earlier you said you didn't know how it worked. But you're the Corpse Girl? My lower lip trembles as I feel tears welling up. I dab the corners of my eyes gently to avoid smudging my makeup. As I hover my mouse cursor over the view request button, a familiar and pleasant tingling sensation surges in my chest, my stomach, my thighs. I shiver with anticipation, my hot and steamy breath beginning to fog up the laptop screen. Okay. I click the button. Request details. Today, 2:47 p.m. Victim's phone. Downloading image attachment. Victim's photo automatically loads on my screen. The person in front of me is a total stranger, but that's okay. It doesn't change the task set out before me. A woman, rather plain, in her early 30s. She's well dressed, with minimal makeup, and she's not really putting her personality on display. It's a nice photo, better quality than some of the images I've received in the past. In fact, the photo looks like a corporate ID picture. I wonder if it was downloaded from a company database or website. Well, the source of the photo doesn't matter. The simple fact of the matter is that somebody has made a request for this person to die. It falls to me to fulfill that request. And as Corpse Girl, I take the requests very, very seriously. I have the victim's photo and I have her phone number. All I need now is to select a way for her to meet her untimely demise. I've previously thought about including an extra field on my website, an option for the user to choose the way they want their victims to die. After all, it would reduce the amount of strain on my creativity if the method was decided for me. But after careful consideration, I decided against it. Some people are sick, twisted. The cause of death could be far beyond the means and impossible to achieve. Therefore, allowing the user to define some cause of death just isn't feasible. Instead, I'll stick to my current modus operandi. Everything depends on the quality of the victim's photo. If it's detailed and the victim's features are easily distinguishable, then I can rather be creative with the cause of death. Perhaps the victim's face suffers grotesque burns, or she has an iron stake through her skull. However, if the victim's photo is low quality and doesn't provide enough detail to identify the subject, I have to resort to the default cause of death. A terrible, unlucky fall from a great height. Maybe she slips, or maybe someone stumbles onto her and sends her tumbling over a rail. The end result will always be the same, a swift, crushing death from on high. The victim will end up face down on the concrete, completely unrecognizable, save for her clothes and accessories. It's not my favorite cause of death, but in some cases it's necessary. Regardless, it's still a valid way to fulfill the request. For now, it's time to get started. I can barely contain my excitement. I squirm against the couch, crossing and uncrossing my legs in a vain attempt to dissipate the heat rising through my body. I feel uncomfortable. Take a deep breath. I try to calm my nerves and get to work. The victim will receive a photo of her own corpse, time-stamped with the date of her death. It's Corpse Girl's signature move, my calling card, if you will. Okay, so this isn't supernatural like I thought it was gonna be. I'm a serial killer. Okay. Seeing an image of one's own disfigured corpse is sure to strike fear into one's heart. And that's precisely the reason I take this step. To make the victim panic and act rashly. First things first, I save the victim's photo to my laptop's hard drive. I store it in a folder discreetly named System Files, hidden away in the root directory of my operating system. A password encrypted directory, of course. Okay, so here's what I think is happening. Our friend seems to be very interested in crime. I have to wonder if my friend is gonna, at some point, catch on to us, maybe? Maybe. Next, I open up my favorite editing image software and load my photo. Carefully looking at the detail in the picture, I can see that this will be a work of art. I can really go to town with this request. I minimize the software, open my web browser, and access a particular website. The database of the deceased. The DD, as it's known on the dark web. Not the dark web. My secret weapon, the ultimate resource for my work. The DD is a collection of countless high-resolution photographs of dead bodies. Murder victims, crime scenes, suicides. If somebody has died in one way or another, chances are good that some perverted individual has captured the moment in all of its glory. Such valuable images are essential to my work. Using these photos as a base, I can edit my victim's details into the picture. My process is simple. I start by locating the perfect corpse photo. I searched the database, and in less than 2 minutes, I discovered a disgustingly detailed photo of a woman with her entrails spilling from her stomach. Ugh. Her face is blue, having suffocated before even having a chance to bleed. She's about the same age as my victim. She's a similar height and build. Finding a photo that specifically suits my victim's features is easy thanks to the DD's excellent catalog of tags and filters. That's disturbing, and I'm sure it exists. I simply search for the keywords that match my victim's description and find a corpse that fits. Using this photo as a starting point, I digitally edit my victim's face onto the body. It's not some quick job that even a child can do. It's a painstakingly crafted work of art that could fool even the keenest eye. An hour passes, then 2, then 3. Before I know it, it's midnight has come. It's midnight. Midnight has come and gone, but the work is nearly completed. All that remains is to add the final touches. I like to add specific, distinguishable details to an image. A personal item or accessory, clothes, makeup, you name it, I can edit it in. With personal details added, I just adjust the lighting and color palette, just slightly enough to make the photo truly unique. If the victim decides to reverse image the search photo and discovers that it's a forgery, all of my work would be for naught. And with that, the masterpiece is complete. A grisly, gruesome, gratuitous, gory gift. That was too many G's. That was too many G's. for the soon-to-be departed. The victim will receive the photo of this corpse that is, for all intents and purposes, a perfect replica of her own physical form. She will open the image on her phone, and the life she once knew will crumble to pieces, my lips curling into satisfied smirk. During my hours of work, my breathing eventually steadied, and my excited nerves settled into a zen-like calm. But, seeing the finished art piece now, I begin to feel my heart pounding once more. The macabre vision before me is exhilarating. Adrenaline and dopamine surge throughout my body, giving me a sudden head rush of bliss. To say that I'm attracted to the sight of blood and guts would be misleading. No, I'm not into all that. The excitement stems from the thought of taking control of somebody else's life, dictating their future, controlling their fate. For the creation of this image, I have taken the victim's life into my own hands, a puppet-like master pulling the strings of the marionette. By forging this convincing creation, I will compel the victim to take her own life. That's right, my own hands need not to become stained. The hands of Corpse Girl have never been dirtied with the blood of a victim. This is the true nature of my work, carefully crafting corpse photos in such a way to convince the victim that their fate is already sealed, that no matter what they do, they cannot escape the death that awaits them. And the date stamped on the photo is the icing on the cake, the ultimate driving force behind the victim choosing and ending their own life. A date so near in the future, a time has not yet occurred. A fiber of uncertainty carefully interwoven into the image that causes the victim to pause and consider the possibilities. This is the photo from the future? Is this truly my fate? How can I outrun a future that has been pre-decided? These are the thoughts that run through the victims' heads. Despair and dread floods the senses. Overwhelming anxiety gives way to calm acceptance. This is my dead body. This is how I die. Why should I fight it? And when the victim's last vestige of resistance gently breaks, a silk spiderweb being torn from a cool breeze, they finally give in, and they invite their end. This is the way it'll go down for this woman, this complete and total stranger. I'm confident, certain, convinced. Yeah, but how's she gonna stick out her entrail? It was a sudden spark of inspiration that guided me to begin fabricating corpse photos about a year. I can never really quite recall what exactly it was that spawned the idea. Sometimes I got close to remembering, but then the recollection dances at the edge of my mind and slips back into the darkness. Regardless, I ventured down a dark and dangerous path. I built Corpse Girl website and invited strangers to request their death of people that they knew. It was a sales tactic, simply a way to encourage users to submit images. I had no intention or means of ending lives. Little did I know the true power I wielded. I only intended to create corpse photos and send them to people for fun. I wanted to startle and scare some unsuspecting fools. It would be a lie to claim that I didn't get off on it. The thought of people shrieking in fear at the sight of their own corpse was more than delicious. I sat in my budding lust. Okay, I'm scared. It filled a dark hole in the depths of my soul and gave me purpose. Never in a million years did I dream that one of my corpse photos would result in the death of another human being. I'll never forget her name, Dui Hatano. 20-something, slim, gorgeous, eyes that took my breath away the moment I gazed upon her portrait. She was the first person to make me feel bad about crafting a hoax photo. The only person to make me feel bad about it. But I did it anyway. Corpse Girl never rejects a request. It's my conviction. I forged a beautiful rendition of her death. Thanks to some rather macabre source photos obtained via the database of the deceased, I strung Dui's corpse in a field like a ghoulish scarecrow. The photo was incredible. It was my 5th or 6th work. The 5th or 6th time a user of Corpse Girl's website requested a death. Dui Hatano died just a few hours after receiving the photo. I don't know why. I don't know if she killed herself or if someone murdered her. But I know one thing. Dui Hatano's body, her real body, was found in a field hanging like a scarecrow, surrounded by crows. Her eyes had been gouged out of her skull, and her stiff fingers clutched her phone tightly. According to the news report, her phone displayed a familiar image, the very image I created of her corpse. When I first learned of Dui's death, I was overcome with varying emotions. I felt sick, elated, disgusted, overjoyed, depressed, aroused. Had I somehow caused her death? Was Corpse Girl responsible for taking a life? Even though my hands weren't stained with blood, I still felt responsible. A lurid truth descended upon me at that moment. Corpse Girl held the power to end lives, and the more I dwelled on that fact, the more obvious it became to me. I began to feel that power pulsing through my veins, thrumming in my blood as my heart pumped and pounded within my chest. I can't explain how the power works, and I don't know why I have it, but somehow the corpse photos I can create compel a victim to end their life, or compel someone else to end it for them. Dewey died the way that I envisioned. Her body matched the fake corpse photo I painstakingly crafted, and I didn't even have to leave the safety and comfort of my apartment to ensure her death. Corpse Girl's power is real, extraordinary, and I vowed to exercise that power as frequently as possible. You're psycho. What the fuck? I'm psycho. Dewey Hatano died last year. Since then, I've been chasing that rush, that thrill that comes out with snuffing out a soul. It wasn't hard to grow the popularity of Corpse Girl's website after that incident. Particularly dark corners of the internet gobbled up the news with enthusiasm, and the site saw an influx of new visitors. And on a few occasions, I've even overheard people in real world whisper about the mysterious website that lets you request a death. I've crafted corpse photos for dozens of requests. Each photo is more convincing and realistic than the last, thanks to my ever-evolving skills. But none of my recent attempts have been successful. Not a single person has dropped dead since Dewey Hatano. I'm beginning to wonder if Corpse Girl's power has fizzled out. Or perhaps I never had any power to begin with. Maybe Dewey's death was simply a fluke, a morbid coincidence. I spent countless hours doubting myself, doubting Corpse Girl. I've tried so hard to replicate that one success. Every time I received a request, I do the same thing as I did in Dewey Hatano's case. I edited the photo of the victim, I created a convincing corpse photo, and I timestamped it with a time of death. I send the photo to the victim, and then I leave the request up to fate. But nothing ever comes of it. I'm not so delusional to think that in normal circumstances, a simple photo would be enough to convince someone to kill themselves. Okay, but you are, because you said it earlier. You said earlier that this is how you do it. Am I being gaslit by my own main lead? What is what? Okay. Breathe, Emmy. And even if that photo falls into someone else's hands, it wouldn't inspire them to go out and kill the victim. Of course not. However, these are no ordinary circumstances. I once activated a power beyond the ken of mortal men. I'm delusional. I caused Dewey Hatano to die by her own hand, or the hand of another. I need to find a way to manifest that power once more, to prove that I, Corpse Girl, have the power of death and destruction at my fingertips. Once a new victim perishes, I know it will pave the way to more deaths. My website will gain popularity and become more than just an urban myth. People will live their lives in fear, forever wondering if Corpse Girl is lurking behind the next text message they receive. Yes, I can see the future. I crave so clearly in my mind. I'm close to achieving my goal. I know I am. And when my dream comes true, I can finally... Finally what? You fucking weirdo? You can finally what? What? This is so weird. I am uncomfortable. Anyway, this is a good place to stop. Let's go be uncomfortable together, somewhere else.